When discussing late-night television, Johnny Carson's legacy remains unmatched due to his sharp wit and undeniable charm. Despite his passing nearly 2 decades ago, audiences still recall his memorable moments, including the playful jabs he often delivered to guests and audience members alike. Recently, his daughter has come forward to shed light on some of the long-standing rumors about her father's personal life. She confirms many of the speculations that have lingered in the public eye, revealing insights that paint a more complex picture of the man behind the iconic persona. These revelations not only highlight the dichotomy between his on-screen humor and off-screen reality, but also provide a glimpse into the pressures and expectations that came with such fame. Fans who adored Johnny for his quick humor may find themselves re-evaluating their understanding of him as a father and a person. The stories she shares bring a fresh perspective, blending nostalgia with newfound appreciation for the man who shaped late-night television. Johnny Carson, known as a beloved television icon, had a public persona that charmed millions. He was the king of late-night television, known for his quick wit and engaging interviews. However, behind the scenes, there was a different side to Carson. His interactions with those around him sometimes revealed a darker aspect of his character. Despite his friendly demeanor on screen, there were instances when he treated people with disrespect. This behavior stood in stark contrast to the warm and inviting image he projected to his audience. Many who worked with him reported feeling belittled or dismissed, showing that the man behind the laughter could be harsh and unkind. The disparity between his public image and private behavior raised questions about the true nature of celebrity. While he entertained millions, the reality of his personality suggested that fame did not always come with humility or grace. This complexity made Carson a fascinating figure, as he embodied both the charm of a television star and the flaws of a human being. During his honeymoon in 1987 with his fourth wife, Alexis Moss, one notable incident occurred that would surprise many. The couple had planned a romantic yacht trip to Italy, filled with expectations of joy and celebration. However, as the days went by, Carson's demeanor changed dramatically. Instead of embodying the affectionate and loving husband that one would expect during such a special time, he began to display a different side of himself. His mood soured, and he became less engaging and more withdrawn. This unexpected shift left Alexis feeling confused and disappointed, as the honeymoon that was supposed to be filled with laughter and love turned into a tense experience. Friends and family later speculated about the pressures Carson faced, both from his public persona and personal life, which may have contributed to this change. The incident became a stark reminder that even in the most joyous of times, underlying issues can surface, revealing a complexity that often lies beneath the surface of celebrity lives. The yacht trip, which was meant to be a celebration of their union, instead highlighted the challenges they faced as a couple. The honeymoon that began with such promise ended up being a moment of reflection for both Carson and Alexis, showcasing that relationships can be complicated, even for those in the spotlight. In a particularly unpleasant episode, Carson publicly embarrassed his new wife, Alexis Moss. The situation unfolded after an innocuous remark made by Moss that Carson evidently did not appreciate. Instead of addressing the matter privately, Carson chose to confront her in front of others, which added to the humiliation. He issued a stern warning that echoed through the room, saying, "We've been married for 3 weeks. If you say something like that again, this marriage won't last another 3 weeks." This moment shocked those present and cast a shadow over their early days as a couple. It highlighted the tension that can exist even in the happiest of unions, and demonstrated how public figures are not immune to personal struggles. Carson's reaction raised eyebrows and sparked conversations about the dynamics of their relationship. Such incidents remind us that behind the glitz and glamour of fame, there can be moments of vulnerability and discord. The incident serves as a poignant example of the complexities of marriage, particularly under the scrutiny of public life. Johnny Carson's personal life was marked by strained relationships, particularly within his own family. Despite having been married 4 times, he only had children with his first wife, Jody Walcott. Their marriage produced one son, Rick Carson. Rick faced significant challenges related to mental illness, a topic that was often kept hushed during those years. This struggle with mental health added layers of complexity to Johnny's personal life, as he navigated the difficulties of being a father to a son who was dealing with such serious issues. The stigma surrounding mental illness at the time made it even harder for Johnny and Rick to find the support they needed. As Rick continued to struggle, the situation became increasingly difficult, ultimately leading to his confinement in a mental hospital. This reality shaped Johnny's experiences and relationships, influencing not only his role as a father, but also how he interacted with others in his life. The emotional weight of these circumstances lingered throughout Johnny's life, reflecting the challenges many families face when dealing with mental health issues. Perhaps fueled by embarrassment or an inability to cope, Johnny Carson distanced himself from Rick during this difficult time. Their estrangement was marked by a lack of communication, an emotional distance that grew as Rick faced his own struggles. Johnny, known for his charm and wit on television, found it hard to reconcile his public persona with the complexities of his private life. This distance persisted until June of 1991 when tragedy struck. Rick's vehicle went off a cliff near Morro Bay, California, resulting in a fatal 125-foot fall. The sudden loss of his son was a devastating blow to Johnny. In the wake of this tragedy, Johnny Carson found the courage to speak about Rick on his show. This moment provided a glimpse into the troubled relationship they had, revealing the pain and regret that lingered beneath the surface. Johnny's heartfelt acknowledgement of Rick during the broadcast highlighted the deep emotional turmoil he experienced, illustrating the profound impact of their estrangement and the sorrow of losing a child. At NBC's 25th anniversary party aboard the Queen Mary, tensions boiled over between Johnny Carson and his son Rick. Both father and son were known to enjoy their drinks, and this particular night was no exception. As the festivities unfolded, Rick, in a drunken state, began to act in a way that drew the ire of Johnny. The atmosphere, which should have been celebratory, quickly shifted as Johnny confronted Rick. Witnesses at the party recall the scene vividly, noting Johnny's aggressive demeanor. He raised his voice, shouting at his son in a public display that shocked many guests. The confrontation highlighted the complicated and often tumultuous relationship between the two. It was a moment that underscored the struggles they faced, not just as father and son, but as individuals caught in the pressures of fame and personal issues. This incident became a talking point among those who witnessed it, illustrating the darker side of their bond and the challenges they both endured in the spotlight. Throughout his life, Johnny Carson faced a multitude of rumors, one of which centered around his struggles with alcoholism. His relationship with alcohol was well known and often discussed in the media. Friends and colleagues noted that Carson had a tendency to drink heavily, especially during times of stress. This drinking habit was not just a casual indulgence. It often led to aggressive behavior and outbursts when he was under the influence. Those close to him observed that his charm and humor could quickly turn into anger, making social situations unpredictable. Carson's battles with alcohol were not just personal. They affected his professional life as well. There were moments during his iconic late-night shows when his drinking would seem to influence his performance, leaving audiences questioning his state of mind. Despite his immense talent and success, these struggles cast a shadow over his legacy, highlighting the darker side of fame. His life serves as a reminder of the challenges that can accompany celebrity status, particularly when substance abuse becomes a factor. As the years went by, the rumors persisted, often overshadowing his achievements. Friends expressed concern for his health and well-being, recognizing that the pressures of his career may have contributed to his reliance on alcohol. The complexity of Carson's life illustrates the struggle many face with addiction, showcasing the impact it can have on relationships, careers, and personal happiness. In 1982, the public became acutely aware of Johnny Carson's personal struggles when he was apprehended for drunk driving in his DeLorean. This incident shocked many fans who had admired him for years as the beloved host of The Tonight Show. The arrest brought to light the challenges he faced outside the spotlight. Following the legal proceedings, Carson pleaded no contest to the charges against him. This decision meant he accepted the consequences without admitting guilty. As a result, he received a sentence that included 3 years of probation. During this probation period, Carson faced strict restrictions regarding his ability to drive. Specifically, he was only allowed to operate a vehicle to and from work. This limitation was a significant change for someone who had been a prominent figure in entertainment, highlighting the impact of his choices on his life and career. The incident served as a reminder that even public figures are not immune to personal issues and the consequences that follow. Carson was mandated to participate in a mandatory alcohol program aimed at addressing his substance abuse problems. This requirement arose after he faced legal consequences related to his drinking issues. Despite the challenges he encountered, Carson did not shy away from discussing his struggles with alcohol publicly. He recognized the impact of his behavior not only on himself but also on his career and personal relationships. By acknowledging his problems, he opened up a conversation about alcohol addiction and the importance of seeking help. His willingness to address these issues in front of the public eye helped to destigmatize the conversation around substance abuse. Carson's journey through the program was not just about compliance, it was a significant step toward recovery. He became an example for many who face similar battles, showing that it is possible to confront one's demons and seek a healthier path. His story serves as a reminder of the importance of support and understanding in overcoming addiction. In the midst of his illustrious career, Johnny Carson openly acknowledged his struggle with alcohol. He often wove jokes about his drinking habits into his show, using humor as a way to address his challenges. This level of transparency allowed his audience to be well aware of the difficulties he was facing. Carson's ability to laugh at himself made him relatable and human, breaking down the barriers between him and his viewers. His candidness about such a personal issue was not common among public figures at the time. By sharing his experiences, he created a connection with his audience that went beyond entertainment. They saw him not just as a star, but as someone who faced real-life struggles. This openness also helped to destigmatize conversations about addiction and mental health. Carson's humor served as a coping mechanism, and his willingness to discuss his problems openly showed a side of him that many admired. It made his late-night show not just a platform for comedy, but also a space for honesty and vulnerability. His legacy includes not only his remarkable talent, but also his courage to confront his personal battles in front of millions. During a 1977 interview with 60 Minutes, Johnny Carson openly discussed his struggles with alcohol addiction. He candidly stated, "I don't handle alcohol well at all. No, really I don't." This admission revealed a significant awareness of his problem, shedding light on the internal conflict he faced. Despite recognizing the difficulties alcohol posed in his life, Carson continued to battle this addiction. His honesty during the interview highlighted the complexities of addiction, showing that awareness does not always lead to immediate change. Carson's words resonated with many, as they reflected the ongoing struggle that many individuals face when dealing with substance abuse. The interview served as a moment of vulnerability for the beloved television host, reminding viewers that even those in the spotlight grapple with personal demons. It painted a picture of a man who, despite his fame and success, was not immune to the challenges of addiction. This candid moment in Carson's life remains a testament to the human experience and the ongoing fight against addiction. Throughout his career, Johnny Carson was known not just for his talent as a comedian and television host, but also for his complicated personal life. Reports suggest that he struggled with alcohol abuse, which may have contributed to his behavior on set. There were numerous rumors about his relationships with women, many of which were whispered about in Hollywood circles. Allegations of sexual harassment also surfaced, with claims that Carson used his celebrity status to exert influence over female staff and guests. This behavior, while a well-known secret among industry insiders, did not lead to any legal action against him. The lack of consequences can be attributed to Carson's immense power and influence in the entertainment world. His formidable legal team likely played a role in silencing potential claims and protecting his reputation. Despite the troubling aspects of his personal life, Carson remained a beloved figure for many, illustrating the complex nature of celebrity in America. The mention of actress Sally Field adds a personal account to the larger narrative surrounding Johnny Carson. Field described her relationship with Carson as comparable to the octopus and the little guppy, indicating that Carson was overly hands-on during their time together. This metaphor highlights the imbalance in their dynamic, where Carson's advances made her feel uncomfortable. Despite dating briefly, Field expressed that she wasn't particularly interested in him. This lack of interest made it difficult for her to reject his advances, creating a situation where she felt trapped. Field's reflections on her experiences with Carson shed light on the complexities of relationships in the entertainment industry, where power dynamics can often lead to uncomfortable situations for those involved. Her candidness about her feelings serves as an important reminder of the challenges that come with fame and the personal struggles that can accompany such public relationships. The story of Field and Carson illustrates the sometimes complicated and uncomfortable nature of romantic encounters in Hollywood, emphasizing the need for clear boundaries and mutual respect. Field shared a clever strategy she employed to fend off unwanted suitors, including Johnny Carson. She would often claim to be experiencing a mental breakdown and that she was being sent away for treatment. This fabricated excuse allowed her to avoid direct confrontation with those who pursued her, making it easier to escape uncomfortable situations. Carson, who had an estranged relationship with his son, found this tactic particularly resonant. His son faced significant mental health challenges, which likely made Carson more sympathetic to the idea of mental health struggles. By using this approach, Field not only protected herself from unwanted advances, but also tapped into a deeper emotional understanding that Carson might have had regarding mental health issues. This connection may have made her excuse seem more believable and acceptable to him, allowing her to navigate her social life without the stress of unwanted attention. Field's strategy highlights the complexity of relationships and how personal experiences can shape interactions in unexpected ways. Despite his remarkable success as a television host and comedian, Johnny Carson faced significant challenges in his personal life, particularly in his marriages. His second marriage to Joanne Copeland, which began with great optimism and promise, ultimately unraveled in ways that neither of them could have foreseen. They tied the knot in 1972, and initially, it seemed like a perfect match. However, as time went on, cracks began to show in their relationship. The pressures of Carson's demanding career and the public scrutiny that came with being a famous figure took a toll on their bond. Joanne Copeland, who was also a talented individual, found herself struggling with the realities of being married to someone in the limelight. The couple experienced a growing distance, and their differences became more pronounced. Carson, known for his quick wit and charm on screen, often found it difficult to translate that same warmth into his home life. Their marriage faced various challenges, including the strain of Carson's fame and the expectations that came with it. Ultimately, after years of trying to make things work, the couple decided to part ways in 1983. The divorce was a painful process, highlighting the difficulties they both faced in navigating their relationship amidst the pressures of Carson's career. This separation marked a significant moment in Carson's life, revealing that even those who seem to have it all can struggle with personal relationships. The end of their marriage was a testament to the complexities of love and the challenges that can arise when one partner is in the public eye. In 1960, Johnny Carson was hosting the game show, Who Do You Trust? When he first met Joanne Copeland, who was then working as a flight attendant, their paths crossed in a way that sparked a connection between them. This meeting led to a romance that blossomed over time. By 1963, they decided to marry, filled with hope for their future together. However, despite the initial promise of their relationship, they faced significant challenges in their marriage. The pressures of Johnny's career and the demands of their personal lives created strains that proved difficult to manage. Over the years, their differences became more pronounced, leading to a gradual unraveling of their relationship. Ultimately, after nearly a decade of marriage, Johnny and Joanne's union concluded in 1972. This chapter of Johnny's life reflects the complexities of love and the challenges that can arise even in seemingly perfect beginnings. During the later years of Johnny Carson's marriage to Joanne Copeland, their relationship faced significant challenges, primarily due to infidelity on both sides. Joanne Copeland became involved with football star Frank Gifford, which added strain to their already rocky union. This affair was a turning point that highlighted the growing distance between the couple. At the same time, Johnny Carson was not without his own extramarital entanglements. He engaged in various affairs during this tumultuous period, reflecting a deep-seated discontent in their marriage. The public persona of Carson, known for his charm and humor on television, contrasted sharply with the turmoil in his personal life. The combination of these infidelities ultimately led to the unraveling of their marriage, as both partners sought solace outside their union. The impact of these betrayals left a lasting mark on their relationship, and the fallout from these choices contributed to the eventual end of their time together. The emotional toll of infidelity often creates rifts that are hard to mend, and in this case, both Johnny and Joanne faced the consequences of their actions. Despite the challenges they faced, the couple managed to separate in a way that was surprisingly friendly. Even after their split, Joanne Copeland continued to support Johnny Carson in his television career, showing that their bond, despite its changes, remained intact on some level. However, a significant revelation about their relationship remained hidden from public view for many years. It wasn't until 2013 that the details of Joanne's affair with Frank Gifford came to light. This disclosure was made possible through the tell-all book released by Henry Bushkin, who had served as Johnny Carson's lawyer. The book provided an in-depth look at Carson's life shedding light on the complexities of his personal relationships and the pressures he faced in the public eye. The revelations shocked many fans who had admired Carson for his charm and wit on television, unaware of the struggles he dealt with behind the scenes. The book painted a picture of a man who, despite his fame, navigated the same emotional challenges as anyone else, making his story all the more relatable. Bushkin's book made numerous controversial allegations, some of which faced criticism for their sensational nature. According to Bushkin, Johnny Carson had reportedly asked him to capture photographic evidence of Joanne's affair with Frank Gifford. This request highlighted the depth of Carson's emotional turmoil during this period. The claim suggested that Carson was deeply affected by the betrayal and felt compelled to gather proof of the infidelity that was causing him distress. The idea of a man who was often seen as a confident and charismatic television host being so vulnerable behind the scenes added a layer of complexity to his public persona. The allegations sparked discussions about the pressures of fame, the personal struggles of public figures, and the lengths to which one might go when faced with emotional pain. Carson's life, often viewed through the lens of his successful career, was revealed to be more complicated, showcasing the human side of someone who entertained millions. The fallout from these allegations also raised questions about the ethics of revealing such personal stories and the impact they could have on the lives of those involved. Strikingly, during a tumultuous period in his life, Johnny Carson was often seen carrying a revolver, a detail brought to light by his friend and biographer, Henry Bushkin. While Bushkin did not provide a clear explanation for Carson's choice to possess a firearm, it painted a picture of a man grappling with deep emotional turmoil. The book portrayed Carson as heartbroken over the affair involving his wife, detailing moments when he was reduced to tears, sobbing over the betrayal that shattered his sense of trust and security. Despite his initial reluctance to confront the painful reality, Bushkin ultimately agreed to gather evidence of the affair, a decision that would lead to the delivery of sordid details that further plunged Carson into despair. This tumultuous chapter in Carson's life reveals not only the complexities of his personal relationships, but also the emotional weight he carried behind the scenes, contrasting sharply with his public persona as a beloved television host. The juxtaposition of his fame and personal heartbreak created a compelling narrative of a man who, while adored by millions, faced profound struggles in his private life. The aftermath of Frank Gifford's diagnosis left Johnny Carson deeply affected, prompting him to embark on a drinking binge with his Tonight Show co-host Ed McMahon. This period marked a significant emotional struggle for Carson, who was grappling with the complexities of friendship and the impact of past indiscretions. In later years, after Gifford was diagnosed with a brain disease, his wife Kathy Lee Gifford, who eventually married him, inquired about an affair that had been rumored. During a public discussion, Kathy shared that Frank could not remember the details of the affair, a plausible scenario given his medical condition. This revelation painted a picture of a complicated narrative, filled with regret and unresolved feelings. Frank Gifford passed away in 2015, leaving behind a legacy intertwined with both his achievements and the toll that personal relationships can take on individuals. The stories of these friendships and the struggles they faced reveal the human side of fame and the emotional burdens that often accompany it. In the midst of a turbulent divorce, Johnny Carson found himself entangled with Playboy model Angel Tompkins. Despite being warned that such a relationship could complicate his divorce proceedings, Carson made the choice to host Tompkins at his home. This decision not only showcased his desire to move on, but also highlighted the complexities and emotional challenges often faced in high-profile separations. The media buzzed around their connection, speculating about its potential impact on Carson's legal battles. Friends and family likely expressed concern over how this new relationship could influence the outcome of his divorce. Carson's actions reflected a blend of defiance and vulnerability as he navigated the public eye while trying to manage his personal life. The involvement with Tompkins added another layer to an already intricate situation, illustrating how love and heartbreak can intertwine, especially for those in the spotlight. The emotional turmoil of such a high-profile divorce can be overwhelming, and Carson's choice to engage with Tompkins only deepened the narrative of his personal struggles during that period. Reports suggest that the issue of infidelity was a significant factor in the relationship between Johnny Carson and his wife, Joanne. Even during their marriage, it seems that Joanne was aware of Johnny's extramarital activities. This knowledge likely added strain to their bond, as trust is a crucial element in any partnership. Instead of mending the rift, Johnny's extravagant gifts only deepened Joanne's suspicions. He would often shower her with lavish presents, including a luxurious Rolls-Royce and stunning diamonds. While many might assume that such gifts would symbolize love and commitment, for Joanne, they became reminders of Johnny's unfaithfulness. Each expensive item served as a marker of the secrets and lies that clouded their relationship. Rather than providing comfort or reassurance, these gestures of wealth highlighted the underlying issues. The gifts, instead of bridging the gap between them, cast a shadow over their marriage, illustrating how material wealth cannot replace emotional fidelity. The dynamics of their relationship became increasingly complex, with love intertwined with betrayal, leaving both partners grappling with the consequences of Johnny's choices. Continuing with the family theme, Johnny Carson's sentiments about his mother, Ruth, reflect a complex and strained relationship that had a profound impact on his life and personality. Carson grew up in a household where his mother was a dominant figure, often described as strict and controlling. This dynamic created an environment where he felt stifled, leading to a sense of resentment that lingered throughout his life. His blunt and seemingly callous remark, "The wicked witch is dead," upon his mother's passing unveils the depth of the bitterness he harbored towards her. This statement shocked many, as it starkly contrasted with the typical expressions of grief one might expect. It revealed not just a complicated relationship, but also the emotional scars that shaped Carson's character. His humor, often sharp and self-deprecating, can be seen as a reflection of his struggles with personal connections, particularly with his mother. The impact of this strained relationship echoed through his work and personal life, influencing how he interacted with others and perceived himself. The complexities of his feelings toward Ruth illustrate the profound effects that family dynamics can have on an individual's life journey, shaping their identity and relationships in ways that can last a lifetime. Carson's reflections on his mother reveal a complex and troubled relationship that he believes significantly influenced his personality and his struggles in marriage. He openly expressed that he held Ruth responsible for many of his negative traits. This blame extended to his personal life, particularly regarding his multiple failed marriages. Carson described her in harsh terms, calling her the toughest son of a, which illustrates the depth of his feelings. He felt that her tough love and demanding nature shaped him in ways that were not always positive. This troubled connection with his mother seemed to create patterns in his relationships with women. Many of his marriages ended in divorce, and he often pointed to the emotional scars left by his upbringing. Carson's candidness about these issues suggests that he grappled with the impact of his mother's influence throughout his life. It is clear that his perceptions of his mother played a significant role in how he viewed himself and his relationships, leading to a cycle of challenges that he struggled to overcome. His refusal to attend Ruth's funeral adds another layer to the complex emotions surrounding their relationship. This decision reflects the complicated feelings Johnny Carson had toward his mother. Throughout his life, Carson characterized Ruth as a detrimental force, suggesting that her influence was not always positive. He often admitted that she played a significant role in shaping his personality. This influence was not just benign, it contributed to the challenges he faced in his personal life, especially in his marriages. Carson's struggles with intimacy and commitment can be traced back to his early experiences with Ruth. The emotional distance he felt from her may have instilled a sense of insecurity that echoed throughout his adult relationships. By choosing not to attend her funeral, Carson seemed to be making a statement about their fraught connection. This act of absence speaks volumes about the unresolved feelings he harbored and highlights the impact of his upbringing on his later life. The complexities of their bond remain a poignant aspect of Carson's legacy. While Johnny Carson was celebrated for his quick wit and charm on television, his personal reflections reveal a more complicated side, especially regarding his relationship with his mother, Ruth. Carson's comments about her often carried a tone of rudeness and condescension, suggesting a deep-seated frustration and disappointment. These harsh words invite speculation about the nature of their interactions. It raises questions about how Ruth influenced his emotional well-being and shaped his views on relationships. The complexities of parent-child relationships can leave lasting marks on individuals, especially when the dynamics are tumultuous. Carson's candid remarks reflect the struggle that many face when dealing with parental figures who may not meet their emotional needs or expectations. The impact of such relationships can manifest in various ways, influencing behavior, personality, and even career choices. Carson's experiences may have contributed to his public persona, marked by a mix of humor and underlying pain. The interplay of admiration and resentment often complicates the love between a parent and child, leading to a lifetime of reflection and perhaps unresolved feelings. Over the years, Johnny Carson built a remarkable career as the host of The Tonight Show, a platform that showcased countless guests from various fields. He had a unique ability to connect with many of them, leading to memorable moments that entertained audiences night after night. Carson's interactions ranged from light-hearted banter to deep discussions, creating a rich tapestry of television history. However, not every guest was a hit with him. Among those he reportedly had a strong dislike for was the iconic comedian Bob Hope. Their relationship was marked by tension, and Carson's feelings towards Hope were notably negative. Despite Hope's status as a beloved figure in comedy, Carson did not share the same admiration. This dynamic added a layer of complexity to Carson's otherwise warm and welcoming demeanor. It is fascinating to think about how such a prominent figure could have personal dislikes that contrasted sharply with the public's perception of his guests. The blend of admiration and disdain among the many personalities Carson encountered illustrates the intricate nature of human relationships in the entertainment industry. What particularly irked Johnny about Bob was the comedian's meticulous preparation for each appearance. Carson felt that Hope came excessively prepared, even going so far as to have written out jokes ready for the show. This level of premeditation struck Carson as inauthentic. He believed that comedy should have an element of spontaneity, where guests could engage with the audience and each other in a more natural way. Carson valued those moments of improvisation that could lead to unexpected laughter and genuine reactions. The contrast between his style and Hope's careful planning created a rift in how they approached their craft. Johnny preferred a relaxed atmosphere where humor could flow freely, while Bob's strict adherence to a script made Carson feel that the essence of comedy was lost. This fundamental difference in their philosophies highlighted the challenges of their relationship, as Carson sought authenticity and connection, which he felt was compromised by Hope's extensive preparation. As time passed, Bob Hope continued to make appearances on The Tonight Show, despite the differences between him and Johnny Carson. However, it became clear that Hope's age was starting to take a toll on his performances. His declining health was particularly noticeable, especially with his hearing issues. These challenges made interviews difficult for both him and Carson. Hope often struggled to hear the questions Johnny posed, which affected the flow of their conversations. To manage this, he began providing notes to Carson before the show, requesting that the questions be asked in a specific order. This approach aimed to help him keep track of the dialogue, but it also highlighted the reality of his condition. The dynamic between the two men shifted as Hope's age and health became more pronounced, yet he still brought his charm and humor to the show, leaving an indelible mark on the audience. The moments they shared reflected both the joy of their friendship and the bittersweet nature of aging in the spotlight. As Hope's health began to decline, it became increasingly hard for those around him to ignore the changes. Johnny Carson, who had long admired Hope, found himself deeply affected by the visible deterioration of the once vibrant entertainer. Reports suggest that Carson, feeling a mix of concern and frustration, shared his feelings with his staff. He expressed his worries about Hope's condition, reflecting on the impact of witnessing someone who had brought so much joy and laughter to audiences now facing such challenges. Allegedly, Carson made a striking remark, saying, "If I ever end up like that, guys, I want you to shoot me." This statement highlighted not only Carson's frustration, but also his fear of losing his own vitality and spirit. The shift from admiration to concern marked a poignant moment in Carson's reflections on aging and health, revealing the emotional toll it took on him to see a beloved figure like Hope, who had once been a beacon of humor and energy, struggling with the realities of life. Carson's candid expression of his feelings underscored the deep bond and respect he had for Hope, as well as the universal fear of decline that many face as they grow older. The weight of such experiences often brings to light the fragility of life and the importance of cherishing the moments of joy that entertainers like Hope have provided throughout their careers. Carson's remarks serve as a reminder of the human side of celebrities, who, despite their fame, grapple with the same fears and challenges as everyone else. Comedians today often avoid fat jokes, understanding their potential insensitivity and recognizing that a person's weight can be influenced by many factors, including genetics and health issues. In contrast, Johnny Carson, a legendary figure in comedy and television, was known for his frequent use of fat jokes. His humor often targeted celebrities and public figures, making light of their weight in a way that was typical of the era. While many found his jokes funny, they also sparked conversations about the impact of such humor. Carson's style reflected a different time in comedy, where the lines of what was acceptable were drawn differently. His jokes could be seen as harmless fun by some, but they also contributed to a culture that often marginalized individuals based on their appearance. As society has evolved, the understanding of body image and the effects of weight-related humor have changed significantly. Today, many comedians recognize the importance of sensitivity in their material, striving to avoid jokes that could hurt or alienate others. This shift highlights how comedy can adapt and reflect societal values, showing a growing awareness of the complexities surrounding issues of weight and self-image. The legacy of Carson's humor serves as a reminder of how far comedy has come, and the conversations it continues to inspire about respect and empathy in humor. Carson's affinity for humor often crossed the line into what some might consider unkind territory. This became particularly evident in his interactions with actor Raymond Burr. Burr, who gained fame for his roles in popular television shows like Perry Mason and Ironside, made two notable appearances on The Tonight Show in 1968 and 1976. During these appearances, Carson's jokes about Burr's appearance, especially regarding his weight, were relentless. The humor, while intended to be lighthearted, struck a nerve with Burr. After enduring the constant barrage of fat jokes, he decided enough was enough. In a bold move, Burr chose to boycott further appearances on Carson's show. This decision was significant, as it highlighted the impact of Carson's humor on his guests, and the fine line between comedy and disrespect. Burr's stand against the belittling comments served as a reminder that humor should not come at the expense of someone's dignity. The incident remains a notable moment in the history of late-night television, illustrating how the dynamics between hosts and guests can shape public perceptions and personal relationships in the entertainment industry. The decision by Burr to refuse further appearances on Carson's show highlights the significant impact that relentless commentary on one's appearance can have on an individual. Humor, especially in the world of entertainment, often walks a fine line. It can bring joy and laughter, but it can also cause emotional pain. Burr's choice reflects how jokes about personal characteristics, which people cannot change, can lead to feelings of vulnerability and hurt. In the context of Carson's show, which was known for its light-hearted banter, the humor sometimes crossed into territory that made guests uncomfortable. It raises important questions about the boundaries of comedy. While laughter is essential, it is crucial to consider the feelings of those on the receiving end of the jokes. The emotional toll of such humor can be profound, prompting individuals to reconsider their participation in environments where their appearance is a target for jokes. This situation encourages a deeper understanding of how comedy can affect self-esteem and personal dignity, reminding us that humor should uplift rather than diminish. In 1980, Johnny Carson, the beloved television host known for his charm and wit, took a serious interest in the Aladdin Hotel and Casino located in Las Vegas, Nevada. At the time, the Las Vegas Strip was booming, and owning a piece of this vibrant entertainment scene was a tempting prospect for many. Carson's exploration of the Aladdin deal was not just about making a financial investment. It was also about expanding his influence in the entertainment industry. However, as negotiations progressed, Carson ultimately decided to back out of the deal. This decision was not without its consequences, as the media quickly seized upon the story, framing it as a dramatic loss for the star. The narrative painted Carson as someone who had failed to secure a significant business opportunity, which added an unexpected layer of public scrutiny to his reputation. Meanwhile, the Aladdin was acquired by Wayne Newton, a well-known entertainer in Las Vegas, along with a group of investors. This shift in ownership marked a new chapter for the property, while Carson's withdrawal from the deal became a point of discussion among fans and critics alike. The portrayal of Carson's retreat from the Aladdin deal highlighted the intense public interest in his life, revealing how even the most successful figures can face challenges and setbacks in their pursuits. The media's focus on this incident not only emphasized Carson's celebrity status, but also showcased the high stakes involved in the world of entertainment and business. As the story unfolded, it became clear that the allure of Las Vegas and its casinos could attract even the most prominent personalities, drawing them into a landscape where fortunes could change overnight. The narrative surrounding Carson's attempt to buy the Aladdin Hotel remains a fascinating glimpse into the complexities of fame, ambition, and the unpredictable nature of the entertainment industry. In response to the portrayal of Wayne Newton, Johnny Carson, celebrated for his quick wit and comedic talent, decided to tackle the situation on The Tonight Show. Known for his ability to blend humor with current events, Carson approached the topic with his characteristic style. However, the jokes he crafted took a controversial turn as they focused on Newton's masculinity. During the 1980s, humor often walked a fine line, and many jokes about personal attributes were seen as direct attacks. Carson's remarks, while intended to entertain, sparked discussions about the implications of such humor. The cultural climate of the time was sensitive to issues of masculinity and identity, making Carson's jokes particularly provocative. While his audience may have laughed, the underlying messages resonated differently with various viewers. The incident highlighted the complexities of comedy and its potential to offend, especially when it touches on personal characteristics. Carson's choice to address the situation with humor reflects the broader societal attitudes of the era, showcasing how comedy can both unite and divide. The reactions to his jokes revealed the challenges comedians face when navigating sensitive topics, raising questions about the responsibility that comes with humor. In a world where laughter often masks deeper issues, Carson's approach serves as a reminder of the power of words and the impact they can have on individuals and communities alike. Wayne Newton, understandably angered by Carson's jokes, decided to take matters into his own hands. He directly confronted the late-night talk show host by appearing at Carson's offices and issuing a physical threat. Newton made it clear that unless Carson ceased making jokes at his expense, a physical altercation might ensue. This unexpected confrontation highlighted the tension between the two entertainers. Carson, known for his quick wit and humor, was taken aback by Newton's intensity. He realized that his jokes, which were meant to entertain, had crossed a line. Getting the message loud and clear, Carson opted to relent. He recognized that the public sparring, while entertaining to some, had become too personal for Newton. In a show of professionalism, Carson decided to put an end to the jokes about Newton, shifting the focus back to lighthearted banter that did not target anyone specifically. This resolution marked a turning point in their relationship, showing that even in the world of comedy, boundaries exist and respect is essential. Years later, during an interview with Larry King on Larry King Live, Newton reflected on the feud with Johnny Carson. He described Carson as a mean-spirited human being who had hurt people in ways the public may never fully understand. This insight revealed a side of Carson that was not often discussed in the media. Newton's words highlighted the darker aspects of celebrity culture, where public personas can mask personal struggles and conflicts. He went on to share his refusal to tolerate Carson's negative attention, emphasizing the importance of self-respect in the face of public scrutiny. Newton's experience served as a reminder of the personal toll such public feuds can take on individuals, often leading to emotional distress and a sense of isolation. The dynamics of their rivalry were complex, shaped by the pressures of fame and the expectations of audiences. Newton's candid reflections offered a glimpse into the challenges faced by those in the spotlight, revealing that behind the laughter and entertainment, there can be significant pain and conflict. This conversation with King allowed Newton to articulate his feelings about the feud and the impact it had on his life, providing a deeper understanding of the human experience within the entertainment industry. Carson's sharp wit and strong opinions often led him to express his candid views about others in the entertainment industry. This included his notable feud with Tom Snyder, who was also an NBC personality. Snyder hosted The Tomorrow Show, which aired right after Carson's iconic The Tonight Show. The tension between the two was palpable, primarily due to Carson's blunt assessment of Snyder's talents. Carson did not hold back in his criticism, openly stating that he found Snyder boring. He believed that Snyder lacked the charisma and talent necessary to engage an audience effectively. This clash of personalities highlighted the competitive nature of late-night television during that era. While both men were part of the same network, their styles and approaches to hosting were vastly different. Carson's humor and charm contrasted sharply with what he perceived as Snyder's dullness, creating an atmosphere of rivalry that was hard to ignore. The feud was emblematic of the broader tensions in the entertainment industry, where personalities often clashed in public and private. Carson's willingness to voice his opinions about Snyder revealed not only his confidence, but also his commitment to maintaining high standards in the world of late-night television. The dynamic between these two hosts remains a fascinating chapter in the history of television, showcasing how personal opinions can shape professional relationships in the competitive landscape of entertainment. During an outing at an Al bar in the late 1970s, Johnny Carson found himself in a lively atmosphere after having enjoyed a few glasses of wine. In this relaxed setting, he let his guard down and began to express his frustrations about a colleague, Snyder. What started as a private matter quickly transformed into a public spectacle as Carson's spirited rant drew the attention of others around him. His comments, filled with candid criticism, were not the most tactful way to address his grievances. This outburst was not just a simple complaint. It reflected deeper tensions within the workplace, particularly since both men were part of the same network. Carson's choice to air his dissatisfaction in such a public manner raised eyebrows and likely complicated his professional relationships. It served as a reminder that even beloved figures like Carson could succumb to the pressures of their careers, leading to moments that might not align with the polished persona they presented on screen. The incident highlighted the challenges of maintaining good relations in the competitive world of television, where personal and professional lines often blur. Carson's outburst became a talking point, illustrating the complexities of navigating workplace dynamics in the entertainment industry. When John Davidson and Joan Rivers announced their own talk shows, it stirred up a storm in the world of late-night television. Both had been regular guests on Johnny Carson's iconic show, The Tonight Show, where they had built their careers and gained a loyal following. However, the news of their new hosting gigs did not sit well with Carson. He had always been seen as the king of late night, and the idea of his former guests stepping into the spotlight as hosts of their own shows was a direct challenge to his reign. Reports indicate that Carson was furious upon hearing the news, feeling betrayed by those he had once welcomed on his stage. The tension escalated as both Davidson and Rivers began to establish their own identities in the talk show arena. Rivers, known for her sharp wit and humor, was particularly vocal about her ambitions, which only fueled Carson's anger. Davidson, with his charming personality, also found himself in a complicated position, caught between his loyalty to Carson and his desire to succeed in his own right. This situation created a significant rift, leading to a public feud that played out in the media. The late-night landscape was changing, and Carson's dominance was being challenged by those he once considered friends. The fallout from this feud would linger, affecting relationships and careers in the years to come. Carson felt a deep sense of betrayal when Joan Rivers decided to host a show on the Fox network. This move was not just a career change for Rivers. It was seen as a direct challenge to Carson's late-night program, which had dominated television for years. The late-night landscape was competitive, and Rivers, who had once been a frequent guest and a close friend of Carson, now seemed to be stepping into enemy territory. Carson's perception of her actions as disloyal was rooted in their long-standing relationship, where he had supported her career and provided her with opportunities. The fallout from this decision was significant and left a lasting impact on both their careers. In a 2009 interview with Larry King, Rivers recounted the emotional turmoil that followed her departure from Carson's show. She spoke candidly about the tension that arose and how it affected their friendship. The situation highlighted the complexities of personal and professional relationships in the entertainment industry, especially when ambition and loyalty collide. The rift between them became a notable chapter in the history of late-night television, illustrating how quickly alliances can shift in a competitive environment. The public's fascination with their relationship and its unraveling added to the drama of the era, making it a topic of discussion for years to come. While she maintained her friendship with Johnny's co-host Ed McMahon, Rivers revealed that accepting the new hosting job, which lasted only a year, led to the end of her friendship with Carson. The tension began when Joan Rivers took on a role as the host of a competing late-night show. This decision was seen by Carson as a betrayal, as he had been a mentor and friend to her throughout her career. Rivers expressed regret over the fallout, noting that their relationship changed dramatically after she accepted the position. She mentioned that they never spoke again after this episode, highlighting the deep rift that formed between them. Despite her efforts to keep the friendship alive, the professional rivalry overshadowed their personal bond. Rivers continued to speak fondly of her memories with Carson, but the silence that followed her career move marked a painful chapter in both of their lives. The end of their friendship became a topic of discussion in interviews, where Rivers reflected on the complexities of their relationship and the impact of career choices on personal connections. Carson's anger toward Rivers was fueled by the perception of betrayal as she ventured into direct competition with his long-standing show. This tension grew as Rivers began to carve out her own space in the entertainment world, which many saw as a direct challenge to Carson's dominance in late-night television. However, according to Rivers, there may have been an additional layer to their strained relationship. In her autobiography, Rivers disclosed that she and Carson had reportedly engaged in an affair while she was still married to Edgar Rosenberg, a television producer. This revelation added complexity to their interactions, suggesting that personal feelings intertwined with professional rivalry. The affair, if true, would have made their conflict even more poignant, as it involved not just professional jealousy, but also deep personal emotions. Rivers' candid admission sheds light on the intricate dynamics between two powerful personalities in the entertainment industry, revealing how personal histories can complicate professional relationships. The fallout from their affair and the subsequent rivalry left a lasting mark on both their careers and their legacies in show business. In 1973, Johnny Carson, the beloved host of The Tonight Show, made a light-hearted joke about a supposed worldwide shortage of toilet paper. His comment was intended purely for laughs, but it had unexpected consequences. The joke sparked a wave of panic among viewers who took his words seriously. People began to worry about the availability of toilet paper, fearing that they might soon run out. As a result, shoppers rushed to grocery stores and convenience shops, leading to empty shelves where toilet paper once stood. The sudden demand created a real shortage, as stores struggled to keep up with the frantic buying. This event became a notable example of how a simple joke on a popular television show could influence public behavior and trigger a mass response. The incident highlighted the power of media and its ability to shape perceptions, even when the intention was just to entertain. Carson's playful remark turned into a memorable moment in television history, illustrating how humor can sometimes have unintended effects on society. The widespread panic that ensued from a joke made by Johnny Carson led him to issue an apology the following month. In his statement, Carson expressed regret for the unintended consequences that arose from his humor. The incident became a significant case study, often cited by the New York Times, illustrating how rumors can spread quickly and lead to unexpected and tangible consequences. Carson, known for his sharp wit and ability to entertain, did not foresee that his light-hearted comment could cause such alarm. The public's reaction highlighted the power of media and communication in shaping perceptions. His apology served as a reminder of the responsibility that comes with humor, especially in a world where words can travel far and wide in an instant. Carson's experience became a lesson in the importance of considering the potential impact of jokes and comments, especially in a time when the audience may not interpret them as intended. This incident remains a relevant example of how humor can sometimes backfire, affecting not just the comedian but also the audience and society at large. The blend of comedy and serious repercussions is a delicate balance that all entertainers must navigate carefully. Carson's iconic catchphrase, "Here's Johnny," enthusiastically proclaimed by his co-host Ed McMahon every night before The Tonight Show, became synonymous with the program. This phrase was more than just an introduction. It was a signature moment that set the tone for the show. The energy and excitement that accompanied those words created a connection with the audience, making them feel like they were part of something special. However, such catchphrases can attract opportunists looking to capitalize on the success of the show. Over the years, various individuals and companies sought to profit from the popularity of "Here's Johnny." This led to legal disputes regarding the ownership and use of the phrase. Carson had to navigate these challenges to protect his brand and the legacy of The Tonight Show. The catchphrase not only represented Carson's unique style, but also highlighted the complexities of fame and intellectual property in the entertainment industry. The ongoing battle over the catchphrase serves as a reminder of how something so simple can lead to significant legal and financial implications. The phrase remains a lasting part of television history, embodying the spirit of an era and the challenges that come with success. In 1977, Johnny Carson found himself embroiled in an unusual legal battle that captured public attention. The famous television host and comedian took action against a portable toilet company that had begun using his well-known catchphrase in their advertising campaigns. This unexpected lawsuit highlighted the complexities surrounding intellectual property rights, especially in the entertainment industry. Carson, known for his sharp wit and humor, was determined to protect his brand and the phrases that had become synonymous with his identity as a late-night television pioneer. The case drew interest not only for its unconventional nature, but also for the implications it had for how public figures can safeguard their personal trademarks. Carson's legal team argued that the use of the catchphrase by the portable toilet company was misleading and could damage his reputation. Ultimately, Carson emerged victorious in this legal showdown, successfully preventing the company from further utilizing the catchphrase in their promotions. However, the resolution did not mark the end of the saga. The portable toilet company continued to find ways to incorporate the phrase into their marketing strategies, demonstrating the lengths to which businesses might go in pursuit of catchy slogans. This ongoing struggle underscored the sometimes surprising and persistent nature of legal battles over intellectual property in the entertainment world, revealing the challenges that even the most famous figures face in protecting their creative legacies. In a memorable moment from his career, Johnny Carson took a risk with a parody that did not land as intended. This skit featured a character that bore a resemblance to the beloved children's television host, Mr. Rogers. However, instead of capturing the warmth and kindness that Fred Rogers was known for, Johnny's portrayal took a sharp turn into the absurd and inappropriate. In this skit, Carson's character encouraged children to steal money from their parents, suggesting that they do so to support his television show. The humor was dark and unsettling, contrasting sharply with the wholesome messages typically associated with Mr. Rogers. This misstep highlighted the fine line comedians often walk when attempting to parody figures who represent innocence and goodness. While Carson was known for his sharp wit and clever humor, this particular skit stands out as an example of how parodies can sometimes miss the mark, leaving audiences confused and uncomfortable instead of entertained. The backlash from this performance served as a reminder of the importance of understanding the subjects of parody and the potential consequences of misrepresenting them. The intention may have been to entertain, but the result was a stark deviation from the charm and positivity that Mr. Rogers embodied, illustrating the complexities of comedy and the sensitivities of its audience. The skit understandably drew considerable backlash, especially from the real Fred Rogers, who expressed his disapproval of the parody. The portrayal of Rogers in a less than flattering light was met with disappointment from fans and critics alike. Recognizing the sensitive nature of the subject and the impact it could have on the revered children's television host, Johnny Carson took heed of the criticism. He understood that Fred Rogers was not just a television personality, but a beloved figure who had touched the lives of many children and their families. Carson later issued a public apology to Fred Rogers for the inappropriate parody. This act of humility showcased Carson's ability to reflect on his actions and their consequences. It highlighted the importance of accountability in the entertainment industry, especially when it comes to figures who hold a special place in the hearts of the public. The incident served as a reminder of the responsibility that comes with fame and the need to respect the contributions of others. Johnny Carson passed away in 2005, leaving behind a legacy that forever changed the genre of late-night television. He was a pioneer, known for his quick wit, charm, and ability to connect with both guests and audiences. His influence on comedy and talk shows is undeniable, as he set the standard for those who followed. Many people offered heartfelt tributes to Carson, celebrating his contributions to the entertainment industry and recognizing him as a beloved figure who brought joy into millions of homes. However, it was revealed that Carson himself harbored a sense of disappointment and disillusionment with the direction television had taken in his later years. He felt that the landscape of television had shifted away from the thoughtful and sophisticated humor that characterized his own show. This shift left him feeling disconnected from the industry he had once helped to shape. Despite the accolades and admiration, Carson's internal struggles highlighted a complex relationship with the medium that had defined his career. Shortly before his passing, Johnny Carson had dinner with two comedians, Gary Shandling and Jerry Seinfeld. During this dinner, Carson candidly expressed his dissatisfaction with the state of television. According to filmmaker Peter Jones, who shared insights into this conversation, Carson was deeply disappointed in the tabloid nature and the rise of reality programming on television. He reportedly conveyed a sense of being sickened by the direction the medium had taken. Carson, who had been a giant in the industry, felt that the quality of television had diminished significantly. He reminisced about the days when television had more substance and artistry. The rise of sensationalism and the focus on celebrity gossip left him feeling disillusioned. He expressed gratitude for having exited the industry when he did, feeling fortunate to have left before witnessing the further decline of what he once loved. This dinner served as a poignant reflection of his views on the changing landscape of entertainment.